Hello, welcome to my first video on this channel. I have a second channel, but it has nothing to do with what I want to do here. Nothing to do with commentary. I'm a reseller, so you might see cleaning products or a mannequin that looks like she's in trouble. Anyway, I made a second channel so I can do some commentary because I think it's hilarious and I like watching these kinds of videos. So hopefully you'll like watching my video about this. This is a good one. Am I the a-hole for not inviting a friend to my wedding due to her behavior at the last wedding she went to? I, 25 female, have a friend called Morgan, 27 female. Morgan and I have been drifting apart in recent years due to our differing opinions of how she handled the situation at our other friend's 25 female, Lucy, wedding in 2019. Lucy had asked Morgan to make some desserts, sweet treats for the reception, and she agreed. Okay. This was the only food that was going to be at the reception other than cocktail sandwiches. They agreed on the price for the sake of simplicity. Let's say 500 pounds. Oh, this is British. For all the baked goods. This isn't what they actually offered. It was much more, because when they organized this, Lucy and her parents were solely paying for the wedding. About 7 months before the wedding, Lucy's parents offered to pay for the remaining fees, which they took up. This meant they theoretically had more money to pay Morgan for the food she was making. This is how it looked on paper. But in reality, the money was swallowed up quickly by other fees and whatnot. I guess Morgan found out about the extra money at the wedding and tried to ask Lucy for more. Oh, that's shady. But Lucy refused. Yeah, you agreed on a price. You don't get now more because there's more money to be had. That's not how that fucking works. That makes Morgan the asshole. Morgan's the asshole so far, okay. Because she literally didn't have it. No, it was somebody else paying it. Morgan wanted 2,000 pounds now instead of 500 pounds. So now she wanted 4 times the price that they agreed on because somebody else had offered to pay a little extra. That's shady. That's really bad. So she took all the big goods and put them back in her truck. So is this on the day? Oh my God. Okay, so she took all the baked goods, put them back in her truck so no one had anything to eat for most of the reception. She felt entitled to more money because somebody else was helping Lucy pay for the wedding. Oh, that's shitty. Lucy was obviously having a breakdown, and her parents, the family of the married couple, all our friend group, were trying to convince her to bring the food back in, but she refused. Luckily, some people went and ordered a ton of pizzas, burgers, and milkshakes, etc. And the wedding was saved but it caused so much unnecessary stress. Yeah, that's not a good friend. Like, I wouldn't be friends with her anymore. That's a shitty thing. That would be the end of my friendship with this person if they did that to another friend of mine, because that's just bullshit. Just bullshit. Okay. I have sort of stopped talking to Morgan, but she is vaguely in the friend group because she's loosely related to Lucy, and she's been trying to get over it because they see each other at family gatherings. Now, Lucy, you deserve better, girl. Just cut your ties and move on. Anyway, I announced my engagement December, and we're getting married in August 2023. Oh, congratulations. Yeah, it's 2023 still. So you haven't got married yet. Everyone but Morgan is invited. I mean, I doubt you're actually going to watch this, but I'm going to talk to you anyway. I'm not trying to be a bitch. No, you're not. But she has shown herself to be a very vindictive and calculating in her malicious actions. Yeah. Yeah, she has. I mean, she's petty and not in a good way. Like, I'm a fan of petty. Let me tell you, I'm a fan of petty. But I'm not a fan of extortion, and that's exactly what this was. Since this wedding debacle, and the last thing I want is her kicking off, causing a scene, is what I understand that means. My husband says that things are going to kick off, like they're gonna start happening. We have a separate group chat that Morgan is not in. Probably a good idea, but she knows I'm getting married and is upset that she's not invited. Really? Really? She's not self-aware, obviously. She called me and asked why I couldn't invite her. I told her that one, we're not friends. Even before Lucy's wedding, we were more acquaintances. Oh yeah, if you're an acquaintance and you're not actually friends, no. Cut the bitch off. No. Her behavior and after Lucy's wedding has made me doubt her maturity. Yeah, really? This lady's almost 30. Really? Has made me doubt her maturity, and I want my day to be special. Of course you do. You're spending a fuck ton of money. You want it to be special as hell. I know I can't prevent everything from happening at my wedding, but if I can remove one factor, remove as many as you can, someone who is known for being argumentative and vindictive for my own anxiety, then fine. Now she's trying to convince Lucy to convince me to let her come. That's so toxic. Morgan is super upset at me now and my fiance. Am I the asshole? No, you're so not the a-hole. Morgan is the a-hole. She's a giant a-hole. My God. Am I the a-hole for reneging on my wife and I's agreement? I, Pete, and my wife, Eve, have an agreement. The agreement says that if one of us has a complaint or a suggestion that we want to voice to the other person, we have to preface it with at least 2 compliments. Oh, this is a shitty policy already. Already it's crap. So for instance, if I wanted to approach my wife about leaving her dirty clothes on the floor, I might first tell her that I liked her new shirt and that she brought, and that I appreciate how she did the laundry the previous week. And then I would ask her if she could pick her clothes up. No, she's a big girl. She's not a child. Ask her to pick her clothes up. Why are we treating adults like children? That's a child's tactic. Yesterday, Eve was making some oatmeal chocolate chip raisin cookies, a recipe that she makes often by stirring together an oatmeal cookie box mix and chocolate chips and raisins. I really dislike raisins. So naturally, I have never cared for this recipe, and I have even strongly implied my dislike for them on a number of occasions. But my wife never seems to get the hint. Sir, you can also cook. So yesterday, while Eve was getting out the ingredients to make the cookies, I started with 2 compliments. Still, that's a dumb idea. I said that it was a nice gesture for her to make cookies for the family, and that I liked how she cooked them for the perfect amount of time so they weren't too hard or too doughy. I mean, that's just platitudes. To me, that would make a compliment not mean as much, because you have to do it, so you have to come up with something. Then I told her I don't care for the raisins and that I would appreciate if she made a few cookies. Okay, this is sensible. Okay, fine. I would appreciate if she made a few cookies without them since the raisins aren't already mixed in. Eve adds them and the chocolate chip cookies to the box mix. My wife nodded. So I thought that meant she was saying yes. Yeah, I would take that as a yes as well. Later, she announced the cookies were really ready to eat. So I came over and asked which ones didn't have raisins. With a confused expression on her face, she asked me what I meant. I reminded her of our conversation earlier. Eve replied that since I had given her 2 compliments on the cookies, only 1 complaint, she thought I enjoyed her raisin cookies more than I disliked them. Yeah, see, this is why it's stupid. So she continued with the original recipe. I mean, I wouldn't have taken it this way personally because you were very clear. Can you make a few without any raisins? You specifically asked for that, and she made them anyway. She said that they couldn't be that bad if 2 out of 3 of my compliments were positive. Oh my God. I'm sorry. That blows my mind. That's dumb. It's just dumb. I was at a loss. I'm with you, sir. I'm with you. So I just sat down. I wanted to say something, but I didn't know how to articulate my thoughts. I wouldn't have either. Oh my God. That would have been so baffling to me. Like, finally, I decided to just go for it. Eve, I began. But before I could, Eve interrupted in a warning tone. Careful, Pete. Remember our agreement. What? Okay, at that point, I lost it. I stood up abruptly and told her I couldn't pretend anymore and that eating the raisin cookies like this was unbearable. I mean, unbearable. Really? It's kind of a strong word for cookies. I'm just saying. And that my feelings about the cookies were pretty much all negative. I didn't preface that comment with two positives. So I broke our agreement here. Oh, is your marriage over? Because if it is, you need a different wife. I'm just saying. At first, I thought I was justified, but I talked to my friends who told me that my wife doesn't owe me cookies. I mean, she doesn't. But you did ask her to make you a couple extra that didn't have raisins. That's about respect. She decided to not respect what you were asking and to do whatever the fuck she wanted to anyway. Yeah, you're justified, dude. You're a human being. So, first of all, and this is a stupid rule. Your agreement's dumb. Okay, now you're not dumb, but your agreement's dumb. And I should just be grateful she made me cookies at all, and they shouldn't have broken the agreement. Are you talking to her friends? Because that's what that sounds like. Your friends? They're not great. I just want to point that out. Your friends are not great. That's bad advice. It really is. Okay. Eve is still mad at me. So am I the a-hole for breaking the agreement? No, you're not, because it's a dumb agreement. It really is, in my opinion. However, you did ask her. Honestly, the marriage does not sound great. It sounds like you both need counseling. I don't know how long you've been married, but in my opinion, things like this don't ever work. And if you have to create a rule like this, there's something else wrong with your marriage. It just is. There's just something wrong there, and you need to air that out. And sometimes getting counseling, I know not everyone can afford it. Not everyone has access to it. So take that with a grain of salt. But you need something. You need to talk, because this is not talking. So let's read some comments. So if your agreement doesn't lead to clear communication and resolution, it's a bunk agreement. I agree. Your wife is weaponizing your agreement to essentially shut you up. Yeah. Forced compliments are compliments. This two compliments thing is a terrible idea. See, I'm not the only one. There's a bunch of people who think that too. Those compliments would mean nothing to me if I knew they were forced. Yeah, me too. I would. My husband gives me compliments all the time. He tells me I'm gorgeous, I'm beautiful, but I don't make him tell me that. He just does it on his own. He gives me compliments and I don't have to force him to do it. Sounds like she's fishing. I don't know who set this agreement up. Just so my husband could criticize something, laugh out loud. It's way healthier to just compliment when you like something and have an honest discussion when something is bothering you. I agree. This isn't a healthy thing that you're doing. In this case, I think they're both being ridiculous, making this big of a deal about some cookies. I don't think he's being ridiculous. I think that is a respect thing. And I think he feels disrespected because he asked for something. She was already doing it. So why couldn't she have just accommodated? I mean, if it was me, my husband said, hey, I don't really like raisins. Can you just omit some? I would just make some separate for him, because why not? I love my husband and I want him to be happy. And it's not putting me out. So why wouldn't you do that? That makes no sense. Now, if he's making me make the cookies and then telling me specifically how to make them, well, words. It's super easy to make a couple cookies without raisins. Just scoop a few out and add raisins last. But it's also ridiculous to expect your wife to cater to your taste when you've hinted at wanting them a different way. And she didn't hint. He specifically asked. And not just outright ask for a few cookies to be made without raisins. He did. Then I told her that I didn't care for the raisins and that I would appreciate if she made a few cookies without them, since the raisins weren't already mixed in. He specifically asked. He didn't hint at it. He specifically asked, and she ignored that request because she decided, oh, well, he must actually like them. This is splitting hairs at this point. Compliment or not, he explicitly asked, thank you. He explicitly asked to have a few cookies without raisins. He's not saying you can't put raisins in them anymore, that I forbid it from happening. He's just like, hey, can you just make me a few without the raisins? Thanks. I mean, that's not too much to accommodate. Honestly, I think she's being more ridiculous than he is, to be perfectly honest. I mean, he did use some ridiculous language, but that's okay. I can see why he was a little upset by it. Whether this is a complaint or request, it makes no difference. I don't know how his wife heard that and thought, yeah, he just asked for chocolate chip cookies, but he gave me 2 compliments, so I'll just add the raisins anyway. Exactly. How did she get there? She could have easily done a few cookies without raisins. Yeah, exactly. He just asked her to accommodate him. And I don't think that is too much to ask, honestly. That really is weaponizing their agreement at 2 compliments and completely ignoring his dislikes. Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you will come back for more. I will be uploading relatively soon, at least once a week for right now, because I have, I'm a full-time reseller. I have another YouTube channel, and I have, husband and a life, and yeah. So thanks for hitting the subscribe button and the bell and giving me a like and give me a comment. Tell me what you think about these stories. I mean, what do you think these people are the a-hole or what? Let me know.